Hello, my fellow sojourners. My name is Tanja and I really am looking forward to enjoying a few sessions with you as we go through the journey of life. And welcome to you again. I am looking so forward to today. We're in episode 5 of Let's Take a Look at Life. My name is Tanja and we are going through some chapters of my book called Face Value. And today we're going to go a bit back and forth in time. And I believe that it will be very entertaining, but also something to think about. That is the gist of this, is also to get us to think, to reminisce, and to reflect on our own lives from the pages of mine. So I look forward to sharing with you episode 5, and it is called The Ugly Duckling Stage, and also going into pageantry. So yeah, that should be very interesting. Thank you. Righty, so going back in time, there I was, and as I've told you before, quite a damaged little girl. A lot of things that I had to deal with, and my worth, my identity, and all these things were touched and tainted. And I honestly went through an ugly duckling stage where my teenage years were absolutely appalling. It was very difficult to go through. As women, we really are a being that wants to be beautiful. We want to be, we've been created in a very special way, I believe, to portray the beauty that God has put inside of us. And going through a very long season of not seeing that in the mirror, not seeing that in my mirror, not experiencing it, and also being very, very shy, introverted. That type of personality did not help much. So at the end of the day, I had to grow very deep roots within myself to learn to love who I was, separated from what I looked like. And that is something, you know, a lot of us don't separate. And at the end of the day, it becomes mushy only about what I look like, and we don't really develop deeper than skin deep or mirror deep. So that was around about the age of 13 to probably 18, 19, around there, that I went through this process. So you can see it's a very long season. And beyond that, I started to normalize a little bit. You know, the strange time when you're going through teenage years. Everything's lanky, out of proportion, and you have skin issues. You have so many things to deal with while you're trying to figure out who the heck you are. And coming out of that, in my 19s, I started hearing certain things from people that they used to say, used to compliment me in a way, and I could not receive those compliments whatsoever. I completely shunned them, even though I was like, thank you. That was just like an act. I completely pushed that aside. No compliments were welcome. And when I got to college, there was a competition taking place, and my fellow class girls, because I was studying beauty therapy, said, you need to enter. And I was like, are you absolutely out of your mind? I was thinking. However, that little seed dropped, and I am someone that tends to, beat the status quo. Now, I had created that for myself. I am this, I am that, and I am that. And most of that was someone with no potential, no worth, and no identity, and so I was going to survive through life. But that little suggestion that came my way gave me a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, that there was something someone saw in me that I had no ability to see in myself. And I started thinking about it, and beyond all my fears and shame and all the brokenness, I plunged myself into a pageant, my first pageant. And at the end of the day, that was a very wonderful experience. It taught me so much about myself, and I was able to grow in ways that I was not expecting. So girls out there, if you ever think of entering a pageant, there's a lot of good that comes out of it for your own growth. So I participated in Miss Welcome Technical College. I think it was in 92, could have been, where I was second princess with my very first, experience of this. And I was absolutely stunned at how much I enjoyed it, how much I grew from it, and what it really meant to me. However, I had to go through the process of the hype stage of pageantry, where you're getting a lot of compliments and people are wowing about it, and there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of great things happening, and there's prizes that are won and so forth, and the whole thing takes you onto this elevation. And then weeks go by afterwards, and you're back to the you that you look at in the mirror. And that made me realize that my worth cannot depend upon other people's opinions. It cannot depend upon a crown on my head or a sash put on me. I had to know my self-worth from another space, from another deeper knowing than when it just comes from the outside. So that was a great lesson for me. And I've learned to put that into my daughter. I have a beautiful, sweet 16-year-old, and it's been such an amazing experience seeing her grow and develop beyond my own quirks and hurts. And I'm so thankful to God. I'm really so thankful to God that she hasn't been through the things that I've been through. And this is where I want to go back and forward. We have a generation ahead of us that we have to take to the next level. I don't want to be a parent who either pushes my child so hard and so intensely because I never did it to myself. So I'm projecting that onto them and putting pressure on a generation that doesn't know how to handle it. And I also don't want to get to a point where I've never overcome my own issues, the things that life threw at me, the curveballs, and I never dealt with that. And now I've got nothing to teach my child. I've got nothing to show as lessons learned. And I think as parents, we need to find that great balance between knowing how to get them to the next level without being offended or even crazily jealous, maybe even, of them achieving more than what we could. That should never be our space. We should want more for them. We should want them to excel and go beyond what we could, and even not even face the battles we faced because we overcame the battles. I think a lot of times in generations we pass the battle on to the next generation. Take alcoholism, for example. Someone is battling with something and it really isn't something that they can overcome. The child grows up in a home like that and they take that upon themselves, and the cycle repeats. We see that a lot in society. So I think it's wonderful when we can actually overcome stuff that we're dealing with and let it become life lessons, maybe some scars we show through the army time we've been in, but we take our generation ahead of us to a better space. And so I recently have had such a wonderful experience of my daughter being crowned as Miss Goldfield's Teen for 2023. So Jesslyn, my daughter, I'm very, very proud of what was accomplished and how you carried yourself on stage. She was absolutely elegant, poised, and a real little lady, but very, very confident in who she was. That just blew me. I saw a satisfaction, not a needy person, not someone who needed the accolades or the cheers because she was empty of it. But she's also not in a space where she's overly aware of herself and overly confident and pushy and wanting her way the whole way. She is humble and at the same time confident in who she is. And I just thought that is so amazing to see that the damage done to me didn't have to project onto my child. And she's completely on another level, on another playing field, in fact. And I'm so happy that she's able to grow and to expand herself from this experience. I still carry my sash. I still have my sash. I don't wear it, but I still have my sash that I won when, after Miss Welcome College, I entered Miss Goldfields, which was an absolutely prestigious competition in Welcome in the 90s. And in 95, I was first princess. So I was runner-up. And today, 28 years later, I could stand next to my daughter and know that this is like a generation pass on. And it was so special to see how well she achieved this. And that's basically my message, is that we take what we have in our hands. That's our children, that's the future, that's the people who need to really make waves and accomplish amazing things in life, and equip them, skill them, give them the life lessons, the painful ones too. You know, I think children are much more clever than what we really realize, and she and many of our children out there rather want us to be real. Let's get raw, let's get real. Let's give them the full spectrum of what life can be. And even though life seems unfair, there are seasons that we go through that are actually meant to grow us, to strengthen us, to make us better people. And at the end of the day, I could really see that in her, in my next generation. And so, yes, we sit around the table, we discuss life with our children. We don't spend time around, unnecessary television time, things that keep us busy. Technology can so easily keep us busy. We sit around a table every night eating meals together, and we discuss and we talk about the day, speak about what things they're experiencing in their world, and we are able to, as parents, throw out advice, throw out the lifeline, throw out what we can share with them, and they can learn from us. And I think that is the best way to build a strong community and to see families in units, great, strong units, building a strong community and a great nation. So, I want to encourage you as parents to just take a sit down with your children and really just be real about what failures even have been played out in one's life, and what you've learned from the failures, and so that they can then step up and improve their lives from that lesson. So yes, thank you so much. I'm Tanja de Melon, and I so want to thank you for joining me in this episode 5 of Let's Take a Look at Life. I truly trust that you would learn a lot from this, learn a lot from the chapters of my life. Please follow me, subscribe, leave some comments, check out my social media platforms, and connect with me in one of these ways, and I look forward to meeting up with you soon. Episode 6 will follow shortly, and please, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, have a look at the playlist on the screen, and you will see the rest are there. I'd love to just connect with you and be together, and as a community learn from each other. Thank you so much for joining. Hello my fellow sojourners, my name is Tanja and I really am looking forward to enjoying a few sessions with you as we go through the journey of life.